Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Thank you for joining me today for our Sunday stream. Got a lot of stuff done, guys. We're trying to push through and make progression within Chapter 42. If you guys caught the last live stream, we went through about 18 stages last time. We have another 12 stages to go ahead and finish out this chapter. So we are definitely getting close, guys. 23,000 diamonds. So out of the VIP rewards that they actually updated, a lot of the events that we do have going on, there's a ton of loot to be had, guys. Even when you look at the common scrolls, guys, we almost have 200 common scrolls, and I've also got 101 Stargazer scrolls. So again, out of the VIP rewards, as well as pushing progression within the tower, it's been absolutely amazing. We only have 19 of our time emblems, but again, those we get 2 a day if they do not give them any of those out of the current events that we have going on. King's Tower, quick update in here, guys. 661 is our 3 floors. Without having the awakened version of Brutus and other heroes, including Entendre, being completely built, it's been incredibly hard to make progression within the Brutal Citadel. Since we have Thane, the Tower of Light has been a lot easier because we do have Thane, guys, which is awesome to see. So we got Darren here, we got Exedir here, Zaquifi? Not even sure how to say that one, but again, we're going to go ahead, we're going to do some summons right off the bat like we normally do. We're going to make some progression, hopefully finish out this chapter, guys. We've been looking for Kayleen. Kayleen is the hero. We have it a plus 30 signature item. We need a couple copies of her. We have a ton of extra cards, so I'm actually going to summon for some Greyborn heroes in here, trying to get and continue building these up, guys. Now, we have 27 hero choice cards. Again, these came from the VIP levels. So as we went through and we collected up all of our cards, 27 faction choice cards, which is going to be an incredible amount of Graveborn heroes. Again, looking for some copies of Kayleen. I'm hoping. What's going on, Geeky? Got a copy of Isabella. I would love to see Fane. I would love to see Treznar. A lot of the other ones, guys, it might just be a ton of fodder. What's going on, Moa? And Apollonier is here as well. Moneymaker is in the house. Notification Squad. There is a copy of Thorin. We need right now 4 copies of Kayleen, which there's a copy of Nara. Again, Treznar would be nice. There is Fane, guys. Absolutely. We haven't even added 1 star on Fane yet. Double copies of Fane. And I was thinking of saving these, but you know what, guys? We're always going to have more loot. We're always going to have more cards, more summons as we continue through here. Zyra's another one. We need to get that plus 30 signature item. I have a lot of copies of her now, but we definitely have to build them up. What's going on, Alexander? Finally catching the stream. Thanks for joining us, guys. Love doing the streams. Do you think the relic upgrade chests and events would also give faction-specific relic upgrade materials? I need to upgrade my dual divinity. I wish. So, Darren, we've actually talked about that quite a few times. Being able to level up those class-specific artifacts. They need to just add them in. Honestly, I feel like there would be a ton of people buying them if they did include those in there, Darren. But as of right now, we don't have, unfortunately, the option to pick those up. Currently building Raku. Is it worth it? Yes, Apollonier. Raku is one of my absolute favorite heroes, guys. We know the skin is coming with the next couple events that are coming. I think it tagged... I think it's at August 4th, if I remember. I think August 4th was the event, which is going to be to get the free Raku skin. Again, I think there was an official announcement that said that it was coming. What's going on, Real Fiction? Please read my last message. Do you know Kayleen can block the Irons comp? I'm level 444 and I fight one at level 515 and I won against the Irons. Yeah, so... Kayleen has been very unique in her abilities. A lot of players have been utilizing her, which there's a copy of Treznar, have been utilizing her for PvP. We've seen her absolutely dominating the Greyborn Tower, backline, frontline. There's been a lot of love thrown on her. She's been working incredibly well. What's going on, Hayden? Is Belinda good to build? Very early, Moa. I would have Belinda built up just a little bit. I would not overinvest in Belinda at all. She's an older hero that most players don't use anymore, Moa. She used to be a primary build, and now not really much of anything. I have enough chicken copies for 1 star, just need 1 more legendary food for Mythic Plus. Yeah, guys, getting chicken, getting Skarath up to that ascended level. Skarath is similar to Zolrath. If you don't have them ascended, if you don't have furniture, there's absolutely no reason. It sucks for both of those heroes. But if you do not have Skarath to the 3 of 9 furniture, he is almost worthless. The exact same with Zolrath. If you do not have Zolrath to that 3 of 9 furniture to unlock that ability, they have very minimal usefulness within the campaign, within any part in AFK Arena. Should I keep on ascending Oden to Ascended or work up Isold? Oden, Adam. Oden is one of the absolute primary damage dealers that we see in a lot of different comps, a lot of Cursed Realm comps. Works incredibly well, dominates the Graveborn Tower. Oden, get him to Ascended, guys. You want to focus on building heroes up to Ascended first before you start getting a bunch of different heroes built, for a couple reasons. One, they'll have a huge increase in stats when you do finally get them to Ascended. And the second one, of course, is the Field of Stars, guys. As you're unlocking this big torch with the Ascended heroes, you absolutely want to build them up to the Ascended level. That might be the stopping point for some heroes, because then you do unlock the furniture, but Ascended is what you do want to work. What's going on? Thabi88? So crazy, it can kill a 551. Yeah, there's a couple. So Caitlyn does incredibly well. Athalia does incredibly well. Treznar does incredibly well. So we know a little while ago, a lot of players were always super upset with the PvP formation. That was always just built around Ainz, and it was always Ainz every single time. But since then, again, guys, we had heroes like Treznar will kill Ainz out super fast. Athalia will do the same. She will actually kill out Ainz very, very fast. And the same with Caitlyn. Caitlyn will kill Ainz comps out pretty quick. So now PvP is not dominated by those heroes, which is very cool to see. When do I use my swap scroll? The swap scroll, Joshua, is really dependent on the heroes you have. Now, what I mean, like even here, I have my swap scroll. I didn't use it on anyone. I advise, and I always say, guys, do not swap heroes just for the stars. Getting heroes built in AFK Arena are incredibly easy to do. It is when you start doing the signature items and the furniture that it gets really, really difficult to do. So even just as a sheer example, if you have a hero at a plus 30 signature item, if you have them at 3 or 9 of 9 furniture, and it is a hero that you're not utilizing at all anymore, that's the ideal swap. If you're swapping just, let's say, a 5-star Lucius for another hero that you want 5 stars, the stars are easy to get. The faction-specific heroes are incredibly easy to get. Save it. Save it right now, guys. That way, if a hero does come out that you want to build later, or if there's a hero you find that you do not use at all anymore, which right now, guys, a lot of the heroes we used to use all the time, like Belinda, like Gwen, they still have an incredibly high use case usage within the towers. When you start getting into the faction towers, guys, you're going to have them built. If you swap a Lightbearer for a Graveborn, all of a sudden your Lightbearer tower starts kind of dropping because you don't have enough heroes in there to really support it. I'm not getting this, but always when I have an enemy that has Rowan and Rosaline, my heroes like Lucretia and Ainz Albedo, can't kill them, become so tanky. Yeah, that's one of the difficult combinations is when you figure Lucretia, if you have a Lucretia, when she gets in there, she has a very short-lived burst damage. Same with Ainz and Albedo. If you have a crowd control team, if you have a study healing team, Rowan, Rosaline, a couple heroes like that, Real Fiction, will outlast you. They will outlast versus Ainz with the instant ult, things of that nature. They will outlast you when it comes to a lot of different game modes, which is the reason why you have kind of counters against a couple more. I've been pushing for faction towers for stones. Yes, guys, one of the biggest things in AFK Arena is right here, guys. Pushing these towers is incredibly, incredibly rewarding. Is it worth to engrave Kren and Raku to 60 or stay at 41? I did 60 for them. Of course, with Kren, I have to build him up to 60 because this ability increases his survivability. I mean, absolutely kind of crazy with the survival. And then, of course, Raku, the same. You want this with the normal attack because that is where his damage comes from. Specifically with our damage dealing heroes like Raku and Kren, the higher you build them up, guys, the better they're going to perform because they are awesome. Go, I just finished chapter 43 at 600. Yeah, granted, I need to build up a little bit. Nomura, 9 of 9 I have. Raku is good. Leonardo is good. So I am good. Let's finish out our summons here, guys. I'm getting caught up in the chat. So 2 more right there. Let's hope we can get some Celestials or Hypogean heroes, guys. We've got 20 stones. Again, these were out of the VIP levels we got. It looks like we have another copy of Treznar, Sonya, which is very good. We have Alero, which is good. It looks like right there, Aziz we got a copy of, which we don't really need, but he's already at Ascended. That might add a star. Thisu in here. So pretty good pull overall. Even though we don't have a lot of Celestials or Hypogeans in there, that's a pretty good pull. And again, some of our Graveborn heroes getting some love. Treznar's almost done. And I don't think we've seen any copies of Kayleen in here. That's okay, because we are definitely getting closer, guys. And I'm continuing to recycle my food. Finally got Sonya up to that 1-star level. She has been, I've used her a lot. I've used Sonya probably way more than I thought I would. And I've had, so of course, still looking for Brutus, guys. We're just going to do our 1 quick summon in here. Just some more cards, just some more loot, which is okay. Stargazer, we are still building out Thane, guys. We're going to take Thane all the way to 5 stars. We have them at 3 stars right now. I'm going to continue to build them out, guys. What artifact do I use on Gruz? Usually it's the Eye. The Eye is usually the go-to artifact for like 90% of Grez. Does Mishka, is she viable at endgame? Yes. Absolutely. How do you get to S30 signature item first, Lucretia or Scarlet? I would go for Lucretia in that one. Oh, thank you, dear Matu. Find your content very helpful. What's going on? Peter and Dark are here as well. So we got 10 summons, guys, looking for some copies of our Awakened Thane. And still looking for resources, guys. We are still gaining a lot of levels in here, which is awesome. As you guys seen, we were just at 601. There's a copy of Thane right there. Trying to continue to build him out, trying to get him to that 5-star rating. There's a Graveborn card. A lot more loot, a lot more chests out of there. Got another Graveborn card. We should pick up 1 more copy at least of Thane, which should be on this one. There it is, guys. There's another copy. So we got a few more pulls. I want to see if we can possibly pull some copies of Kayleen out of there with the summons, and then it's right into, there we go, Alero, right into the campaign, guys. I've been sitting on a crazy amount of scrolls, as you can see. Still have 13 days, so we have 2 weeks for our summons there, but I want to pull a couple heroes out of here. What's going on, Derek? Ascended Thane, E80 or nothing. Blue Crimson is maxing out the Ascended Thane. There is another copy of Sonya. Very nice. I know a lot of players have said that after Sonya's nerf, she's not as effective, which I definitely agree with. There's Rosaline and there is Saurus. Not as effective, but still does work incredibly well. There's a copy of Muriel. Is Saurus worth building? Yes. Saurus does still have a lot of use cases. I do like Saurus. He works in a lot of different avenues. There's Treznar again. Saurus is also used a ton when it comes to the Wilder Tower. That's another place where it works incredibly well, is the Wilder Tower with Saurus. I'm so close to Diamond in the Heroes of Espria. Yeah, the PvP aspects, guys. Sonya again. I love doing the events in here anytime, and I'm glad they added in like the daily quests into the PvP aspect. I'm giving you free loot. I will absolutely take free loot every single time, guys. But look at that. That takes Treznar up to 5 stars, so we're actually going to be dropping him out. He is maxed out, and then I believe that adds 1 more to Sonya. That's already 2 stars to Sonya, guys. Even though we haven't been picking up those copies of Kayleen, we are pretty much maxed out, which is crazy. So we got 2 Graveborns, 2 Wilders, we have 3 Maulers, and then 3 Light Bears, and everybody will be completely maxed out 5 stars. We're definitely close. We are absolutely close. And again, I continue just recycling and reinvesting all of the food we get. That's why I'm not too concerned with doing the summons, using up our scrolls, and trying to get copies of Kayleen. How far do you want to invest in Hodgkin? The 209 is ideal for Hodgkin. The 309, of course, works incredibly well. A lot of the heroes, again, when it goes to the survivability aspect of the hero, adding in a lot more stats in there makes a difference. It honestly does make a really big difference, which there's Theowen. Guys, they're going to shut us out for all of Kayleen for today. And look at that, another rare one right there. But we got a lot more. 4 summons here for Thane, guys. I'm hoping with 4 we can get one. This HOE is incredibly harder. I'm making slow way to diamond. Yeah, a lot of people add them. One of the big things, guys, with this Heroes of Espria is you have a lot more players playing, and you have a lot more players actively playing Adam because of those daily quests, which again, if you checked out the video earlier today, they have started adding daily quests into every part of AFK Arena, which makes a really big difference because you are getting a lot more of the player base engaged in playing and engaged in playing on a absolute daily basis. Guys, that's 4 elite cards right there. Final pull, just some more resources. Let's see, because I know we're a little bit close to another one. Once we get, 4 or 5 pulls in, we know we're pretty close to another copy of Thane. And I think one more will add a star. We'll do one more summon here. Oh, we're that much closer, guys. There we go, just a lot more food. I'm going to have to recycle. I've been recycling a ton within the Rickety Cart because if you look at our store, guys, I buy out everything here and everything in the bottom every single time, guys. This is how I have actually been power leveling the tree. What do you mean when you say 209? So Hayden, when you look at the builds, when I say like 209, it is the signature item. So this is like 3-0. And then the count of the furniture is either 3 of 9 or 9 of 9. So if you say like a 303 means signature item 30, 3 furniture, or if someone says like 209, signature item of a 20, and then 9 of 9 furniture, or even a 203, so signature item 20 with a 3 of 9 furniture. It's, if you see it over on Discord, Reddit, anything like that, it's the kind of the way that players break it down onto how far to build the heroes. Do you think Granite SI30 is worth it? Yes, Dave, absolutely. So Granite is a unique hero, meaning that the plus 30 SI for him, when he marks these enemies with petrification, if you do not have the plus 30 signature item on Granite, there is not much of a use case for him. A lot of times he will come into battle, he will die right away, petrifying every single enemy because of that plus 30 signature item, which is the reason why you need it. Should I make Skarath or Desira plus 30? Desira. Desira has the damage mitigation at the plus 30, which is exactly why players build her. I still have to build her up a little bit more. Skarath at the plus 20 will work well. You can get him to the plus 30 when you continue unlocking or leveling up his damage, but he's there for the 5 pull. He's not there for the damage, which is worth getting Stargazers or Time Emblems. Both, Peter. Honestly, if you ever want to build some of these Awakened Heroes, guys, you have to buy your Time Emblems. I buy the Time Emblems religiously out of the store on the 3 accounts that I have. If you're ever going to want to build those heroes, with the amount of free ones they give us, you're never going to get there. You'll never get there. You might build one hero, but it might be 6 months before you build the second one, if not a little bit longer, again, depending on how many you get. Still looking to max out Thane in here. We already have 3 of 9 for Kayleen. And then, of course, building out Anasta and a couple other heroes, including Joan of Arc, guys. We already have her in here. We're building her out with a little bit of furniture. And the cumulative effort of AFK Arena, guys, there's a second copy for Joan. That gives us, I believe, 2 of 9 right now, but we have 1 on the table. And I'm going to continue using these for Thane. As much as I like the other heroes, guys, the Awakened heroes, remember, do not have quite the effectiveness when they're missing skills because of the furniture we do not have on Thane right now. But just equip everything we have here. So it adds another piece to Thane, adds another piece to Joan. So almost have her to that 9 of 9 furniture. Closer every time. And that's really what it's about, guys. We got 1,000 right there. We got 489. I think that's 490 pieces of mythic furniture, which is crazy. It's crazy that we have almost 500 pieces of mythic furniture. But now, guys, we're going to grind the campaign out. I've been trying to make a lot of progression in here. I want to try to finish out 42. I know the Thorin cheese, guys, this is a bad place. Look at that. It is really the ideal scenario right here. And then, of course, this one, they're running the plus 30 granite, which, see, a lot of them are running this exact same plus 30 granite. Even at Mythic, guys, the crowd control in there will work incredibly well. I don't think I have enough to get granite up to plus 30. I think we're still a little bit short on resources. See, we have 58 chests. We're going to have to level it up, but we're only at 24. Again, he's a hero that without that plus 30, you don't have the effectiveness in there. You're not going to have the crowd control aspect that you're seeing without having that plus 30 signature item in here. It is not going to work, essentially. Even here, there, granite, not plus 30, so good. We're going to go with this one. We have Raku in there. We have On the Grez. We have Taylene in this one, but I know I don't have the Awakened version of Taylene. We have the borrowed one. So we're going to let it go, guys. We're going to let it go. That way I can talk to you guys. We can go through, answer some questions, and just see what we can do, guys, with this Thorin cheese. It's going to take a little while. Which is worth getting. Stargazers or time emblems. Again, Peter, it depends who you're going to build. I have 2 HOB season quests left. Yeah, the season quests you can kind of grind out. Depending where you are, Raphael, you can grind a lot of that out. What's going on, Dale? Is Mortis's engraving worth it? No. Plus 30, possibly when you're much, much further down the road. Most players are not engraving. They're not doing the engraving in Mortis just because he's pretty far down priority-wise when you look at engraving. He doesn't do much damage, and if you have everyone buffed up, doesn't really have a lot of utility in there either. So again, a lot of players, there isn't much of the use case on why to build granite out, and that's it. I kind of wish they added diamonds in the Temple of Time. Yes, absolutely, Peter. If you could just use diamonds, guys, there would be zero reason to ever go ahead and buy those time cards out. There'd be no reason. Any idea who the new Wilder Awakened is? JG, so a lot of people have said the new Awakened Wilder is going to be Tassie. So that is the rumor going around, again, going around Discord, going around Reddit. The new Awakened Wilder, and there we go, guys. Thorin got it done, is going to be Tassie. Yet to see it confirmed from Lilith, but again, that's what people are saying. People are saying that is going to be the next Awakened hero. How's my day today? Awesome. I got a lot done today. That is why I stream at 1, guys. I go out early. I do a lot of stuff in the morning. Got a lot done today, always. I believe the Little Sheep Lady is going to be the next Awakened hero. The Little Sheep Lady. I'm not sure who the Little Sheep... Namora? I think you mean Namora, Dale. I already finished the weekly quest. I'm planning to build Flora, Wukong, Scarlet Rowan, and that girl with bodyguards. I don't know if it's worth it. So Flora and Wukong don't really have a place. Scarlet Rowan absolutely are worth it. Peggy in some places is used, but Scarlet and Rowan absolutely. Flora and Wukong, they really don't have a use case. Maribel within AFK Arena, as much as I love them, they're kind of a filler when you start getting into the towers. That's really the only thing that I see people use them for, is kind of the filler within the towers. But outside of that, you're not going to have anything. Is Granite's furniture good? No, Peter. There's no reason to get Granite's furniture. Even utilizing him within the tower, there's little to no reason. What's going on, Bond? Yep, happy birthday. I am now 43 years old, as some of you do know. Definitely getting there, guys. Yeah, that's it. Rowan and Scarlet are good. Yeah, Flora and Wukong, Peggy, not very good. You think they'll add Ascended Heroes to faction scrolls? I hope, Blue Crimson. We have talked about that for a significant amount of time. They need to add the Ascended Heroes into the faction scrolls. With the probability being so incredibly low, the chances of that really being a game changer are honestly pretty much none, in my opinion. They need to add it. That needs to just be a quality of life adjustment that they do. And what's going on, Jason? What's more important, making heroes ascended or adding stars? Ascended, Joshua. The more ascended heroes that you get, the better. Absolutely the better. Are the limited time bundles worth it? Depending how much you're putting into the game, the limited bundles can be worth it. In my opinion, the first thing you want to buy, guys, are the advancement rewards and also the climber packs. Those are really the two, guys. You pay $20, you get 45,000 diamonds. That is really two of the absolute biggest bundles that you have within there that are very, very important. Both of those bundles are very, very important. Why Halus E60 is rated so high? I read the effects, like the E30 is... So the 60 gives the energy regeneration, real fiction. And if you look at the verbiage in there, I believe the energy regeneration factor is for your heroes where it caps. And when it comes to Halos himself, he doesn't have a cap. I think that's exactly why, from my understanding. The E64, his energy regeneration doesn't have a cap. After Ainz and Albedo, which dimensional should I spend dimensional stones on? Leonardo da Vinci and Merlin are the other two that I would absolutely build up in that dimensional space. Works incredibly well. Ezio is good. Ezio does have some use cases, but you'll find a lot more usage, especially because you already have Ainz and Albedo, out of a hero like Leonardo da Vinci. Leo is used in an incredible amount of AFK Arena because of his crowd control and his damage buffer. Both of them are really, really good use cases that a lot of players utilize. They both work incredibly well. And this one, the RNG of getting Khazard to work. The AE boss is so annoying now. Need manual alts. Yeah, the AE boss, I don't like the new one. I don't like the one that they have up right now. I feel like the boss could have been a lot better than having those little the little ads that they spawn in there. They did dimensional heroes of AFK YouTubers. What type of hero would you want them to turn into? They did dimensional heroes of AFK YouTubers. Honestly, what do you want them to turn into? I would love to see intelligence. Intelligence. I love having conversations with you. I love sharing the knowledge, which is funny. I think Vulcan would probably be either strength or agility if you look at them. Same with Kosh. I think it would probably be strength or agility or intelligence. Watching a lot of his videos, he breaks down an incredible amount of stuff, which would be very cool to see if they made some dimensional YouTubers. That would be hilarious to see. Did we pass that stage? I think we did. Oh, I wasn't even watching, guys. I'm over here chatting it up, but it looks like we got through 48, which was awesome. Let's see what kind of ones we got. And again, following Sneaky because he's right at the same level that we are. And look at it, starting to see use cases for the Ascended version of Thane, which I absolutely love. I need 2 copies to make the Awakened Thane Ascended. That is awesome, G-Ball. So with those guys, the higher that you build the heroes, the better they're going to do. And right here, guys, this is why Leonardo is utilized so much. Locking the crowd control down. Mishka, you have Thane in there. Look at that. 7.75, 8.63, even the awakened version of Thane out damaging what we have in Raku with very, very similar builds in there. I love, and I have been loving the awakened Thane, guys. It works incredibly well. Here, of course, Thorin Cheese. So we're going to go down here. And this is a 5-pull Thorin Cheese. This is an interesting combination. You'll pull everybody in, literally stacking the entire team right on top of Thorin. We're going to have to see how this works. Do you think they'll release a dimensional tower? Yes, I'm hoping, Elfin. We've talked about it a couple times. They need to. I feel like we're at the point of having, what is it, 12 dimensional heroes or 13 dimensional heroes? I think we have 12. So the viability of having 2 support heroes within the dimensional space, adding Joan in there, I think it's very, very easy to add. Really easy now to add the dimensional tower. Because remember, guys, as you get further within the tower, you'll have to fight 2 teams. So you're going to have those dimensional heroes anyways, to a point. Should I keep taking Ainz as garrison or keep the loot for other stuff? Honestly, I would take Ainz as the garrison. The big thing, Adam, with taking Ainz is super effective within a lot of avenues of AFK Arena. When it comes to the Dismal Maze, when it comes to the Peaks of Time adventures, when it comes to the voyages, there's a lot of use cases in there for Ainz that works absolutely well. Good riddance to Arden. His RNG is bad. I don't like the Oden or the grotesque mage. He is the one that I've hated, Blue Crimson. Arden wasn't bad with the RNG aspect. I know with Raku, a lot of players used it. But I absolutely hate fighting the grotesque mage. I hate dim F. Yeah, exactly. Dimensional FHG would be hilarious to see. What's going on, Hayden? Did I see? Can you read my last chat? Let me see. Mortis to Mythic or Helos? Halos. Absolutely, Hayden. Halos is the one to build. Yep. So Mortis will work without being built. That's one of the very big things when it comes to Mortis specifically. He will work without being built. He doesn't need signature item. He doesn't need furniture. He doesn't need engraving. Halos needs all of them. Halos needs everything kind of built to see and to work effectively and efficiently. They need it built. He needs it all built. New strength system soon, they say. What do you think? Mr. King, I'm kind of on the fence with it. I want to know all the details. So I really can't say for or against the new system. I want to see the details. I want to see the changes, the impact it's going to have on AFK Arena. When they do a rework, guys, I love to test it over on the test server, see exactly what it is, because when they do major changes to a game like AFK Arena, it's always kind of bumpy, but they also make a lot of changes than the first iteration. So you'll probably see a bunch of different changes that will come through different iterations, where they put something out, doesn't work very well, they change it, doesn't work very well. Even with hero adjustments, things of that nature, there's a point where they're going to have to change it up. Just got Scarlet maxed out 5 stars, E69, 909. Yeah, Scarlet's one of the heroes, guys. You want to put more into her. Anything that you can put in there, guys, absolutely putting more and more into her is going to help her. It's going to help a ton. Can you read my last chat? Let me see, Peter. Awaken Tassie makes sense. Yeah, that's what a lot of players have said, Peter. That the next awakened hero is going to be Tassie. That's again the rumor that I get over on Discord. Pay attention to Reddit. Pay attention to a couple things like that. It seems Tassie is going to be the next one that really works. That is really going to work. We'll try this one a couple more times, guys. I know the Thorin cheese factor is very, very tough. I think Willow Lord had a different variation of it, but had Lucretia in here. But again, really active. The 5 pull in here. Might work a little bit better. We'll see. What's going on, Scranton? Happy birthday. You're only 43. I'm 46 today. My dad's birthday. He's no longer with us. Happy birthday, Dale. To you and your dad. Yeah, my dad did the same. My dad unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. Rather young, but got to see the grandkids, which was always good. They were still young. It's been a couple years. And I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, as most of you guys know. It's very, very cool. Whose signature item is important and should focus on? Ainz or Scarlet? Both, Joshua. Ainz and Scarlet are probably two of the most widely used heroes within AFK Arena. Ainz you're going to want to build up to a plus 30. Scarlet you're going to want to build up to a plus 30. Scarlet, of course, is going to push really hard within the Twisted Realm, also within guild bosses, things like that. Same with Scarlet. Scarlet and Ainz, both of them are good. For basic functionality, are twins fine at Elite Plus? I want to push them at least Mythic. Yes, so Lawman, with the twins, the way that I use it, the twins are definitely similar to Mortis. So the general rule of thumb, again, that I kind of refer back to is when you look at the twins, if the twins, same as Mortis, if they are dying out faster than they can survive in a battle. So if you go into a battle with the twins die out in 30 seconds, you're going to have to build them higher due to the survivability. If you're going into a battle and the twins are lasting the full minute 30, there's no reason at that point to build them out higher. What's going to happen eventually is you're going to start doing enough damage that the enrage timers get higher, and then they start killing out the twins or Mortis within the first like 15, 20, 30 seconds because of the damage they're doing with the enrage timer. That's kind of the point at where you do want to you want to build them out a little more, because they're at the point they definitely need to be built. Which weekend hero is now most priority on the list? Because I've got resources to build one of those. Which heroes are you talking about, Alexander? 309 is more important than enough. Yeah, the Awakened Chimera, that's what I'm hoping. I would love to see, as much as I would like Baden, I think just because of the sheer love and the carry support, the love for AFK Arena, I would love to see the Awakened version of Chimera. I think that would be super, super cool to see. I think it would be absolutely. Any plans for duplicate furniture build? Which heroes am I building? So the only build hero that I'm building past that 9 of 9 furniture, guys, right now is Scarlet. Scarlet has 11 of 36. She gets a ton of stats added in there. Scarlet is really, really broken with the furniture because of the stats that they've added to the build. It's really working out. Does Ulna's engraving matter? No, it does not. Ulna's, there's not really much of a reason, Monkey, to engrave Ulna. She is pretty far down the priority list, honestly. There's a lot of other heroes you're going to build long before you build out. Which, here we go, guys. We might have it. Oh, it was so close, just a sliver. Yeah, there's so many heroes above building the Awakened version of Ulna that you want to focus on. Including all of the damage dealers, most of the Awakened heroes. Again, there's a lot you want to build long before you build or you engrave the Awakened version, or excuse me, to engrave Ulna. Started a new account, I have to say that Scarlet is a 10 of 10. Yeah, early game Scarlet, if you can protect Scarlet early, guys, similar to Damon, they can absolutely carry. Absolutely can carry super, super easy. It's been more than a year since I left this game. Is it getting better? There's a lot more stuff in here, Ash. And what's going on? I haven't seen Ash for a while. There's a lot of new heroes. There's a lot of Ascended heroes. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of things to do. This game has gotten a lot more time consuming. Because we have the Temporal Rift, the Abyssal Expedition, Heroes of Esperia, we have the Battle of Blood coming. There's a lot. There's an absolute lot to really do in the game. I think, let me try the other formation. It seems like we're close once or twice, guys. And this is, again, the Thorin cheese factor that we're seeing in here. See, it's got Rowan in here. Rowan, I like, but I think I'm just going to stick with this. I think this is going to be the one to get it done. Brutus, Thane, or Talene. Honestly, I would go Brutus. So, and the reason is we're seeing a lot more use cases out of Brutus. We are seeing a lot more cursed realm comps with the awakened version of Brutus than we're seeing with the awakened version of Thane. Now, not saying, like I've said before, a lot of them are kind of filling in the same niche, which means Brutus, of course, excelling within the Mauler Tower, Thane excelling within the Lightbearer Tower, Talene within the Celestial Sanctum. They're all filling their own slots. The only one that we do not see use out of all of those is Aziz. The awakened version of Aziz being built out is very rare to see. I know I do have him built, but again, the use case, there are not many players that are using him for a lot. Is Pharrell's engraving a priority? I would go a plus 20 monkey. It's not a very high priority, but Pharrell is one of the heroes that you definitely need to build up a little bit. The further that you build him, the more he does the energy disintegration and the crowd control. The engraving's not a priority, but again, if you're using him within formations, it increases the duration of his crowd control, which can make a big difference. It can, because of course, when you're starting to get into higher level deficiencies, crowd control wins. Honestly, crowd control wins. Which hero, in your opinion, is broke? Lucretia. It's always been Lucretia, Peter. Since she came out, and I believe when Lucretia was released, they buffed her up to what she is today. Just an absolute monster. It is crazy to see that Lucretia is still as strong as she has been, because her damage is through the roof. She can solo teams. There's not many other heroes, possibly the Thorin cheese, but there's not very many heroes that can solo teams by themselves. That's really the big thing. Is Awakened Brutus good? Yes. Awakened Brutus is good. Early game absolute carry is Damon and Oden. Yes, absolutely. Damon, Oden, and Scarlet will do well. Oden and Scarlet, both of them, if you keep them safe, that's really the big thing. If you do keep Oden, if you keep Scarlet from taking damage, they do an incredible amount of damage. It's kind of insane, but AFK Arena, even earlier game, it's easy to get through. There is a lot of easy content to get through, and you can make chapter progressions way faster than you ever could in the past. Build out Damon, then go ahead and throw some signature item on Damon. He'll carry. He carried me through almost 30 chapters on some of the free-to-play accounts, which is insane. But literally, one hero with possibly like a Rowan will just carry you. It will literally just carry you. Is Damon worth 60 engraving? No, Adam. I do not think he is worth the 60 engraving. I have not engraved him that high, and I would not. I really don't think it's worth it. I just watched your Battle of Blood video. Saw you picked Fane, Respin, Granite for your teams. What's the general thought on the three heroes? Some of them, Love Linus is Fane does a lot of crowd control, and Fane also does do. Fane is really good if you have him built out. The crowd control that he offers, that's really the big thing. Fane does a lot of crowd control. He can lock down teams if you have him built, which means having the 309 plus the 60 engraving, which they do give you in there. When you look at the PvP aspect, which is of course the Battle of Blood, Respin gives haste. Guys, we know that haste is the strongest by far skill within AFK Arena. It is very, very easy to build out the heroes. Respin gives haste, and haste, of course, wins battles. Same with Granite. Granite provides instant crowd control, so if Granite dies out super quick, he provides the crowd control in there. He will actually freeze everybody, which is very, very easy to do. He's unique. He's unique in his use case. Same with Fane and Respin. They're pretty unique. If you have a team of, let's say, tanks, or if you had kind of an invade team, Fane will destroy them. Fane will continue to chain them back away from you, which again is kind of the nature of the hero. Respin just does a lot of damage very fast, and giving that haste to everyone else, again, makes a big, big difference. Thoughts on the 2 new skins that we leaked? I called both of them getting skins this year. I hope Scarlet. Yeah, Scarlet's looks pretty cool. I hope they stick with a really cool animation. That is where I feel like the skin could be really cool, but depending on the animation they put in there, that is really what I feel makes the skin. Like for instance, the Winter Chimera that actually casts snow is awesome. I think that's such a very cool design skin. I hope they stick with it. I hope they stick with the some of those effects when they get in there. When would Grez start to need past his E30? Someone said that it isn't the highest priority since it's workable at E30. Honestly, Grez works well at a plus 20 signature item, Real Fiction. The big thing is the furniture. The 9 of 9 furniture for him makes a really, really big difference because your minions get shields when the shields are broke. That's what does damage. That is really the focus on there is the shielding of the minions is really the big one. Is Grez worth 60 engraving? It is, Monkey. He's not the very tip-top priority, but if you want to do well within the Twisted Realm, if you want to do well in a couple aspects of AFK Arena, you're going to have to engrave Grez just for the sheer stats that he gets. That's really the big thing, is the stats that you're adding on there, including the haste, when you're building out Grez, which of course is going to allow him to ult faster. So the faster that you can get your heroes to ult, of course, the more damage they're going to put out, which is exactly what you want. Now you can get 4 dimensionals, is fixing to be 5 in a couple months. Yeah, Granite is good with the 5 pull. Yes, the Granite 5 pull is kind of a cheesy way to do it, but it does work. A lot of players use it because, of course, Lucretia will get the bonus when Granite dies, and all the enemies will be stunned. So Lucretia can literally just run over the enemy team when they're dead, which is pretty cool. That's why the Granite 5 pull we've seen a lot. Same with Queen. I know Queen, a lot of players have said you have to have the engraving on Queen. I think the 33 in Queen, 33 engraving with Queen to raise her insight so the crowd control works. Just started playing. Why is the early game so hard, stuck at chapter 8? It shouldn't be that hard, Christian. Usually the early game, depending on who you get, early game should be a little bit easier to get through, especially if you have heroes like Daemon. Guys, Daemon is the big priority when your early game works incredibly well. He will carry. He will absolutely carry through a lot of AFK Arena. You can get King Arthur and Baba Yaga out of Lab Store in 2 months. They're going to add Joan of Arc. Yep, guys, if you're looking what dimensional to get, Joan of Arc is in the exchange store. She is the priority right now. Honestly, it is the priority by far, saving your resources to get the copy. Because once you have her, guys, she's yours forever. You don't have to get a bunch of copies of her. You just link her to another hero and you have her. Seems like there's going to be a lot of use cases with her, which I like. You just need one copy and you're done. What does the 5 pull mean? So the 5 pull is the combination. Oh, Tassie killed him that time. 5 pull means that you're using Skarath with the 3 of 9 furniture and Iran. It pulls all 5 enemy heroes to your side. So you'll see at the beginning of the battle, they get pulled in, and then Iran sucks everybody into the vacuum. So literally, I am stacking every single hero right here on top of Thorin, which is the retaliation ability that we're trying to get to work here. This formation, particularly the Thorin cheese, is incredibly difficult to work. It's a lot of RNG. The methodology behind it works well, but again, you have to have the RNG factor in here working. I love Heroes of Espria. I was at 7,000 without fighting. Now you're at 82. Yeah. If a lot of people try to farm you, that's what happens. The Heroes of Espria, you can make a lot of progression just to get that's why I used to do it before. I'm kind of thinking real fiction. That's what I always did before, was I would not go into the Heroes of Espria for till we had about 4 days left. Because of that, they added the daily quests in there, and that's why they did it, guys, to get a lot more people actively fighting within the event. But I would wait till like the last 4 days. I would already go up an incredible amount of levels from people trying to fight me, and then I would just finish up and try to get to that master's level. Well, now with the daily quests, you're seeing a lot more movement every single day within the Heroes of Espria, which again is pretty cool. Don't you need like 4 Daemon for it to be worth it? No. Honestly, if you're in Chapter 8, if you have 1 copy of Daemon, he will do well. He will do well even, again, early game. As you continue to build him up, he'll get stronger. He was actually my very first Ascended hero. And again, he'll carry you 20, 25, 30 chapters with support. Very, very easy to get in there. Very, very easy to get through there. Between Thorin and Grez, who is better at endgame? Endgame, I would probably say Thorin. Even though the Alna Grez is a super important meta formation, you will see there is no team in Chapter 34 that usually doesn't run the Thorin cheese. This is usually what most players run. They need to change it to group up. What you're doing, you're grouping them up to group up. Well, this is kind of by design, because these heroes usually won't come together. You're not going to get some of the heroes over here. So that's the reason why the 5 pull only works here. Should you not have the chicken at 9 of 9 furniture? It doesn't make a difference. If you'll notice in here, Monkey, is with all of the other heroes, they die in a matter of seconds. Literally 1 hit in here, and Skarath is dead. Even if he had the 9 of 9 furniture, he's literally dead the second the team gets pulled, because all the damage is going on him. So it's super, super effective. Like I said, even if we didn't have the plus 30 signature item, anything of that nature, this group is all about Thorin taking damage, and that is it. And that was on Tundra. We keep getting down to 1 single target. You get 3 dust from fighting in the HOE, then they added dailies. Yeah, so you get 3 of your daily quests in there, and then you also do get a lot of additional loot from the dailies. Like I've said, a lot of AFK Arena guys, they've put a ton of loot in there. You've gotten a lot of loot in there. What do you think, Hippo? Will I be able to compete with old players on my server, especially when I'm completely free to play? It depends on the level, Ash, that you're saying to be able to compete. That's really, even with this account in the there we go, guys. Thorin got it done. Just needed the cheese. 2 stages done. 12 billion damage, which brings us, of course, to our next boss stage. Even where my account is, Ash, and the amount that we have put into this account, would I say that it competes with the people in the server? Probably not. PvP wise, no, I absolutely do not compete PvP wise. It's definitely a struggle. So free to play, of course, is going to have its own difficulties. Honestly, where I'm at, I score usually from 15 to 25%. So roughly 25% in Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, things of that nature. Possibly a little bit lower for some. A couple higher for some, but again, competing is all kind of comparative to what you're doing. Honestly, like PvP, no, you're not going to compete at all, Ash. If you're looking at that PvP aspect, I don't see the viability free to play to compete at all. It's not going to be there. And I think this one we have Teddy Bear in here, so this one runs Daemon, guys, which I like. Theowen, we have to get on the right side. If Mahira turns around to actually go ahead and use her Mesmerize on Theowen, because right there Rowan is getting teleported, it's not going to work. This formation is not going to work because of the combination between those. I know we finished out the first one, which that'll be easy. Here it is Daemon. See, they have a little bit, well, no, that's the same formation, but it's got Brutus. Who are we using? Yeah, it's using Brutus. And again, Daemon, guys. Daemon putting out a lot of numbers. And of course, Thorin Cheese. They're utilizing Kren in that one. I want to see if we have anything different. So it's Daemon in there. And as you can see, guys, most of them have Daemon built up a little bit more. There it doesn't. So this should work. So it's all about the Daemon carry in this one. So hopefully we have Daemon built. We have him 309 already. I know I don't have the engraving on him, but we're going to be able to do it. Do you fight in HOE at all before the last 4 days? I do now, Blue Crimson. So that was one of the big things is I used to always wait till the very end. And because of those daily ones, I don't. I don't use him anymore, or I go in there every day now. Does Thorin need 309 to work? Nope. The only thing Thorin needs, guys, is the plus 30 signature item. Having the signature item unlocked earlier will work. Having him built up to the plus 30 signature item allows him to retaliate twice, which again will work. It just depends. It really does depend on where you have him built. You think summoning scrolls should be more accessible? We've gotten a lot. So we've actually gotten to the point where we have a ton of resources. We have a ton of summoning scrolls. There's a lot of stuff that is really going on here within AFK Arena, and it's more than we have ever seen in history, which is pretty cool to see. But again, you're getting a lot of stuff. What's going on, Link? And Limesea is here as well. Notifications are a hit or miss with YouTube. We've done this for now. I believe it's going on 3 years since we've been running the YouTube. I think it's been 3 years we've been doing YouTube, guys, which is incredible. But overall, the notifications here are a hit and miss. A lot of players say we never get the notifications. Some players get notifications when there's no notifications to go on, which again is kind of weird. But a lot of it is weird. It's honestly, it's kind of different. One thing I noticed from AE is I struggle more against Desira, second to last boss, more than that Marcia bug. Yeah, Desira is strong, guys. If Desira is built up, she is incredibly difficult to deal with because of the mitigation factor. She is almost a counter for burst teams. So that's one of the big things with her is because of the damage reduction, because of the consistent healing, it can be hard to get through the burst teams is what we've kind of seen. Main thing you should know about Thorin, if you have SI 30, use Epic Chest and 4-star Redhead to increase the damage. Yeah, you want Thorin to take more damage if you have that plus 30 signature item. Can you make a PvE tier list for early game? Yidget, I can. And I know somebody else asked about a tier list. The big thing with the PvP tier list and tier lists in general, guys, and again, this is kind of my thinking behind it, is tier lists are super dependent on the heroes that you possess. So if we make a PvE tier list for early game, it is very dependent on the heroes you have. So again, early game, Daemon and absolute carry, top of the PvE tier list. If you don't have Daemon, you use what you have for early game. Even going into mid game, you don't really get into building teams. That's where it starts making a difference in AFK Arena, is when you have to start making teams, is where, again, it gets a lot more detailed, because now you're talking about synergies. Now you're talking about heroes working together. You kind of get to a different level when you start building out teams. Yep, Iran carried early game. Again, there's a lot of heroes that can. There's a lot of heroes that can carry early game. Again, if you have them built out, and there's a few that work exceptionally well early game. Pharrell works awesome early game. Nara works very, very well early game. Daemon does. Scarlet does. Even early Shamira will work well because they give you a lot of questions in there, or excuse me, they give you a lot of copies of Shamira in there, which again can work pretty well. I'm a pretty old player, started back at global launch, but after 2 weeks or so, I dropped the game. Recently picked it back up. Should I continue or switch to a new server? Honestly, Mohammed, if you started playing for a while, it's not going to make a difference if you continue with it, because now I believe they have a lot of welcome back rewards, which is a pretty good incentive to start playing again. So I know a lot of us don't know what they are. We don't see what they are, but there is a significant incentive to come back to play. If you start on another server, I don't think you get any of those. So honestly, Mohammed, I don't think it's going to make a big difference, which is cool. It's nice seeing heroes like Damon, whom are used through early game, also viable late game. Yes, Damon is still used in a lot of the cursed realm comps. The big thing with Damon is he scales. So the stronger the enemy gets, he doesn't have a cap on how he scales, which is the reason why so many players do utilize him. Is it does work. It does work very, very well. Which Awakened hero is most useful generally? So far, blank, in my opinion, and again, having a lot of conversation with a lot of players, the Awakened version of Brutus. The Awakened version of Brutus. Taylene does well too. I would say between those two, both of them are very, very strong in their own right. But I like the Awakened version of Brutus. He's used in a lot of Cursed Realm comps. He's used in a lot of different places, similar to Taylene. It's kind of, it's kind of similar between both of them. Oh, thank you, Gidget. Do you like Beyblade? I've never seen or watched Beyblade. I have my kids have the little Beyblade guys that spin, and work. They're pretty cool. I know what the little Beyblades are. Do you have a YouTube video of which characters work best together? We do Moneymaker. We have a couple that are kind of the meta team comps. And that's where, just like you see what I'm using here, that's a lot of the synergy that you have. That's a lot of the meta comps have a really good synergy together, which is kind of what you look at. This team doesn't really seem to be working very well. But again, looking at formations, guys, this is what most players were running. And here, see, they have a star in here. A star. I don't have a star. I don't have Thane built in that one. Athalia we have, but I think that would be a little bit... Some of these guys, you start getting into very, very high levels. Even their Eins, I don't know if my Eins can pick up enough damage, but they didn't use the Thorin cheese. We're already just about, I think, a little over an hour already for our stream. But I'm going to let this run a little bit, see what we can do. Again, Lucretia, guys, does it by herself. She is just absolutely broken. I love it. More defense you add to Thorin, the less damage. Yes, that's the reason why you don't engrave him either. I engraved him a while ago. You don't want to engrave him because you want him to take more damage. This one, of course, is going to be tough with Eins because you have Oden, who is going to do the energy burn. Again, not sure if this is going to work at my level, guys. I don't think he's going to do enough damage. So weapon, hands, and feet armor should be maxed out. Yes, I do the weapon and feet. Take the armor off. So you definitely want to take the armor off of there. What are the top 3 heroes to max out? To really max out the heroes, Monkey, I would say Lucretia. I would go with Eins, and I would go with Scarlet. Those are probably the 3 biggest heroes that have an impact within AFK Arena to go ahead and max out. It's honestly, they are the top 3 heroes. When you start even building formations a little bit later game, they're the heroes you're going to be using. They're really the heroes they're going to be using. I'm still waiting to get the new Awaken from Greyborn and Wilder factions before I make up my mind. Yeah, if you're saving cards, that honestly, it's a good idea. If you're sitting on about 600 cards, Scranton, when you get the Greyborn and the Wilder, by the time there, you should be able to build one fully up to Ascended with no problem. What chapter do people now consider the start of late game? I consider late game right around probably chapter 36. I don't consider it end game. When you start getting into kind of the multiple teams is when I start looking at like late game. So just like what Ban said, I don't know. But 42, 43, when you start getting into the multi-teams is where you really start feeling it. That's honestly when it starts getting into the more difficult or the more progressive part of AFK Arena, is when you start getting into more of the builds within the teams. In my opinion, is late game. Even end game right now, I would probably say would be 40, probably 44, maybe chapter 45 plus would be kind of end game. But yeah, late game is probably the 32 to 35 till about 40. I think 40, 41 is like the pre-nerf territory, in 41, where I'd start going, yep. See, I would still say that's kind of end game, late game, 42, just because you're into the pre-nerfed territory, which is big. It is very big because right now, guys, the level deficiencies here go up a ton. Even 793, guys, that's almost 200 level deficiency from where I'm at. Even here, 786. Once you start getting into chapter 43, looking at the beginning teams, like in comparison to the ending teams, even 736 up here to almost 800. That's a huge, huge level gap when you're starting to push through here. There's a lot of room to grow in there. I have the Essential Stargazing Heroes, all new Lucretia. Now I'm at a better point where I decide between 1-star Awakened Taylene or Halos. I would go, honestly, with those two, I would probably go with Halos, just for the fact you want to engrave him. Awakened Taylene, you're going to want to engrave as well, because remember, guys, she's going to be missing all of these stats if you don't have her built. But I like the support that we have from Halos, and this ability, if you're engraving him, is really, really good at the 60. When you're starting to get into the Cursed Realm, things of that nature, PvP aspects, this is super, super strong. And right there, Halos has no recovery limit. Guys, that is what makes this ability so, so strong, is the energy regeneration he's getting from this is going to ult him a lot. That is the reason why, again, so many players do build him out and build him out to that 1-star level, is because of that ability. It's a pain in my butt territory. Yeah, this is the point where it's going to take a lot of time to get through, guys. These stages are very difficult and time consuming to go through. And again, it's just about the grind, guys. It is a lot of levels. It is a lot of, even if you have the heroes built, it gets to the point where it's a lot more about this resonating crystal and your levels than having all of these heroes completely maxed out, which is the reason why we did so much of our power leveling, was continuing to get through there. Yeah, the lone ranger warrior, I know it's kind of bad that they made the lone ranger, which is funny, our boy Walker down here, that they made him the lone ranger walker that's a warrior. Always so funny. Rowan didn't drop out. No, Rowan is still used for a lot. We definitely see him. You're already at a 200 level deficiency at the start of chapter 40. Yep, that's when power leveling comes in. That is when you start getting and building out a bunch of different heroes, guys. Again, awakened heroes, we think it is going to be Tassie. So they are saying, again, a lot of different players on different servers are saying this is going to be the next awakened hero, following the storyline that we're going to have, which we probably have about a month and a half till we'll see the next one. And I see your Cursed Realm ranking. Cursed Realm, this one, I think we're at like 22, 23? 23. 23 is where we're at. So this one, Grotesque Mage, I hate. Looking at the leaderboard, there are a couple heroes that I don't have built up, including the Awakened version of Brutus, guys. Like I said a little bit before, Brutus is showing his face in a lot of different formations, guys. We are seeing Brutus in a lot of different places. We're not seeing so much the awakened version of Thane in a lot of these formations, but Brutus has been showing up in a lot of places. Same with Anastas. So right here, guys, Anastas, 1.88 billion damage there. She has been doing an absolute incredible amount of damage, similar to the awakened version of Brutus. Again, Brutus is right on par with Oden being maxed out, which is crazy because, of course, he has a ton of survivability, which is the reason why so many people build him. He's a monster. He is an absolute monster to deal with. And in here, again, I don't think there are any copies of the awakened version of Thane. And I'm not sure if I used him. I'm not sure if he was in the last formation, which he is not. See, he is not even in this last formation. So again, a lot of players are utilizing Brutus and not so much the awakened version of Thane. What is power leveling? So power leveling is focusing everything into gaining levels. So even when you look in here, two of the biggest ways to really power level is with the Noble Society. So if you put these essence in here, the hero essence is always a stopping point, guys. This is a very, very good way to power level, but you're foregoing building heroes. Now this could be red chest, this could be engraving mats, getting it built up a lot faster. Same with this one. This one I was doing for a while. I was doing the essence or the EXP out of here, which is what I was working on building. Now I'm looking at building up my elder tree as fast as possible. We almost have a majority of the branches built out, which is awesome to see. 142, we're almost at 100 on the Dura's Might. Then, of course, we'll build these two up once I get this one up to 142, continuing to max out the Elder Tree, guys, really building out those classes. Javid is here. What's going on, Javid? Which competitive mode is fun? The AE, the Cursed Realm, Twisted Realm, HOE. I still like the Abyssal Expedition. I like the Abyssal Expedition. I like the Cursed Realm. I think they could change it up a little bit within the Twisted Realm and the Cursed Realm. Again, we've said this quite a bit, that they really need to make these bosses cumulative. I would love to see if these bosses, instead of it being right here, where you literally have guildies that are kind of fighting against each other for rank, I would love to see some of these bosses that are cumulative damage, just like in the guild hunt. I wish they had bosses that were kind of a cumulative damage for the damage the guild does, instead of it just being the individual contributor rewards. I feel like that would really help a lot of the guilds grow. You don't get both Noble Society. No, I don't get the double pass. So guys, we cap what we spend in here. We do not get the double pass in here. I only get one, again, the sheer cost. We limit what we're putting into AFK Arena, which is the reason why I don't buy the double pass. I just do the single. I don't do both of them. I don't spend the extra 20 bucks. I cap it at the most at 100. So it's really 100. Most of you know this was the pay to win account. When we get donations, when we get super chats, when we get super stickers, when we get memberships, when we get money in here, that's the money that we use and have used to go ahead and fund this account and actually build this account up. So it has been through the years now, actually a pretty collaborative effort. Even here, I think we're at 800 days, guys. So we've played this for 801 days. And again, a lot of the viewers, a lot of the love and support we get from YouTube is what build this account, which is the reason we're as far as we are right now. Definitely trying to move through here as we continue our progression, guys. Almost building out Thane. I think we need one more copy. Yep, and then we'll have him at 4 stars. And then we need one more. Big reason, of course, with the engraving, he gets this physical pierce, so that is going to amplify the damage that he's doing. We're going to build him out to 5 stars. We'll have our first 5-star awakened hero. We also do have Aziz, which is built out quite a bit. And then Brutus, we're looking to build as well. Continuing to get more copies of this absolute monster, guys. We'll continue building them out. Did you see the new power creep mechanic? I haven't seen very much, Limesty. But I definitely have to check it out. What are the best heroes that have been released in the last year that I should focus the most on? The last year, probably a lot of the Awakened heroes. Scarlet is probably one of the big ones, guys. Building her out and really maxing her out, super, super important to build. But a lot of the new heroes, and we talked about this before, when you look at Mishka, when you look at Astar, when you look at Treznar, when you look at Kayleen, a lot of the heroes, Honesta, a lot more of the recent heroes have been doing incredibly well. So a lot, again, of the more recent heroes have made a difference, have really made a game changer. Even when you go to like the Cursed Realm, you'll see that a majority of the heroes within the Cursed Realm, even looking at the top teams, guys, are new heroes. So a lot of the ones that you find in here, right there is Audrey. We have Halos in here. We have the Awakened version of Brutus. And here you have Honesta that's making a presence. And here, of course, we have Ainz. And then a lot, including Hodgkin in here, Moriel's in here. A lot of the newer heroes do make a very, very big presence in here. And what's going on? I am D2, 3 months. Thank you for being a member to the channel, guys. 4 months, four times, there you go. Member for 4 months as a Hippo supporter. I am D2. Thank you for joining us. I don't think you say much in chat. I see some people every now and then that definitely support the channel that I see very rarely talk in chat. So it's good to see some of them. Hello, do you recommend Kayleen being built? Yes, I do. Kayleen, guys, is one of the heroes that we are seeing a very heavy presence within a bunch of different game modes. Graveborn Tower, she's being used. Cursed Realm, she's being used. PvP, she's being used. There's a lot of use cases. I know Javid absolutely loves her, but there are a lot of use cases with her skills and abilities that players have been using her in, both in the front line as a tank, back line as a damage dealer. She has worked incredibly, incredibly well. I would definitely build her out. Again, she's finding a lot of places. Did you say take everything off Thorin? No. So for Thorin, this is the build. So you want the weapon on there. You want the boots on there. This Zealot's plate actually gives him accuracy, which is what we're looking for. You can do it with the helmet or without the helmet. A lot of players say that when he's built, like I have him right here, to go ahead and put the tier 2 helmet on him, not the tier 3, just for the fact here of this crit. So adding on the helmet is of course going to add 9% to crit, dealing double damage. Retaliation damage is going to be doubled when he crits, which is awesome. That can really amplify. Engraving, guys, do not engrave Thorin. Soon as we get a reset, this plus 30 engraving is coming off Thorin. I am not going to keep him engraved. I'm actually swapping his engraving to another hero, which again is by design. Don't say much because I have family myself and kids are keeping me. Yeah, I am D2. I'm the exact same. It's crazy busy. I have some family over, I believe right now. I think they were coming over at about 2. Keep grinding, Hippo. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Apollinaire. Absolutely, guys. I love it. Again, I believe we're coming up on 3 years on YouTube, and we're coming up on 26,000 subscribers. So if you're not subbed to the channel, guys, go ahead and sub. It does help support the videos, making a ton of progression to building this channel. Honestly, I think the player base is falling off a cliff. Getting into the top 100 AE was way easier this round than last round. Yeah, I know. In red, there will always be players that go to new games. It's inevitable. I mean, I've played, again, probably 50 different titles through the last couple years. Players will come and players will go. It's about loving the game. Honestly, that's really the big thing, is if you enjoy the game. Regardless, again, I'm going to play this because I love the game, guys. It's such a cool and dynamic game. I will play it until the game is completely done. Players come, players go. We've actually seen a lot of returning players on the stream. We've seen a lot of, players that have been making a lot more progression in AFK Arena as they continue to build out the teams and build out the game. There's a lot to come. When they had the 3rd anniversary, a huge spike in players came in. Some of them stayed, some of them don't, some of them return. It's a very, very cool game to play. Engraving Saurus, no. Saurus doesn't need any engraving. That just works out the damage mitigation with the engraving, gives them a little bit more damage and a little bit more attack rating, but it's not worth it. He's not used enough to really be worth it. It's beta AE. Yeah, we tested a ton. So Lime Sea, just like what you said right there, we tested a ton. Absolutely. We came in here, guys. We tested a bunch of different specs. We tested a ton of different heroes in here. This was really the focus. We're into quiet time right now. But again, this was the ability to test out different things within here, seeing what works, seeing what relics work, what heroes are kind of different, what heroes are really going to be broken in there. There's an incredible amount of testing during the beta version. Next time that you see when it actually goes for score, a lot of players will bring their absolute A game when it comes to the Abyssal Expedition. Top players come out in full force because we already have a plan going into it. Similar to, you know, when we were in casuals, now we're in Kilby-Ross. Even when we were in Samara, we have a plan. We have a definite plan that we build with the Abyssal Expedition. I love how you interact with the chat, which is amazing. The reason you have my respect. Thank you, Apollinaire. Yeah, like I said, guys, when you have passion and love for something like playing video games and creating content and talking to you guys, I love what I do. I don't like what I do. I love what I do. I love to be able to come on here, do live streams with you, answer questions, have chats, have interactions. It is amazing the time that I get to spend with you guys. And I really do value it, especially because it is time that is, you know, set aside in your day to spend with me as well. And that is the way I look at YouTube. If you guys are watching a 6 or 8 minute video, you're taking time out of your life and time out of your day to spend time watching the content that I create, which again, for me, it makes an incredible, incredible impact, guys. I love it, which is the reason why we do so much on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. All right, guys, so that'll do it for Sunday's stream. We only made a couple more stages, but we're definitely getting there, guys. We have 8 more stages in Chapter 42 will be done. We will be into Chapter 43 at that point. So, okay, guys, that'll do it for Sunday's live stream. Hope you guys have a great day. Go out, log off the computer for a little bit, enjoy some time with your family, get some things accomplished. And as always, thank you guys for watching.